and welcome to a brand new episode of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm the hardest working man in comics, Victor Dandridge.
And I'm Ryan Seymour, and I dropped out of dental school. You'll never know what
You
that
won't.
joke is.
You really won't, because we can't tell you. But it's a flossy story, okay? It gets between your teeth. So this week, strangely enough, there weren't a lot of books.
Right. Like, we went from hammered,
Yeah.
to like, eh.
Middle of the month, they're kind of like, I guess we're done.
Yeah.
Maybe if you had spread that out a little
You
bit,
could have done that.
it would have been
that.
not so crazy. But going to the honorable mentions,
Chase.
okay, we've got one that's the same, and then two totally different books. So, I mean, I guess that does mark some efforts here.
There's some variety.
There's some variety, but where do you want to start?
That's a toughie.
Yes.
I kind of would do Skulldigger and Skeleton Boy.
Let's do it.
Because there were two Jeb Flemire books that came out this week.
Right.
This one from the world of Black Hammer, and then also the second the Black Label Question.
Right.
This one is really, really cool because it takes the concept of a Punisher type character,
Right.
but then like mixes in a little bit of Batman because he's taking in this orphan kid,
Right.
and he's trying to train him, but it's all set in the backdrop of this, I don't know, like almost an Astro City-ish sort of world where you're roughly familiar with the character archetypes,
Right.
So everything feels at home, and it's amazing. I absolutely love it. Person's running for mayor of the town who used to be a costumed hero.
Okay.
And now he's running on the fact that back when I was a hero, like everybody was like, it was bright and shiny and everything. We were good people, and the heroes now are all
dark and evil. Oh, Watchmen-y.
And it ends badly for him when he's kidnapped.
Oh.
And that kind of puts everything in motion where...
Got you.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. There's some great points of view in it from the different characters. And yeah, it's Jeff Lemire, so it's automatically going to be awesome.
that says enough, really. It does look amazing, too.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start off with Legion of Superheroes number 3. So it's Ryan Sook on art, Brian Bendis on the story. This one's interesting because, I mean, as you can see from the cover, they have a visitor from Gotham. And this is one of those things where I think writing a book that takes place in the future is always tricky when you are integrating anything that exists in the past. Yep. It doesn't seem as though John is necessarily set that he's going to stay here, but him still having any sort of access to the past is going to make things tricky because the things that they are having to define as the future, what's it going to detail for these characters? And that becomes a thing. I do appreciate the idea of the politics of the United Planets. We go to Rimbor, we go to all these different places, and we see that while the United Planets is an entity, it's not necessarily a way of life for everyone. And what does that mean? So we're really kind of seeing some of the different character dynamics. Some of the notable folks in this one, Saturn Girl, dope. Mon-El, dope. Ultra Boy, dope. Like, there's some cool stuff here. So it's kind of a fun thing. I was never like a full-on Legion kid. I appreciate them, but I think this is going to be a very interesting take for the Legion for somebody going forward. So good stuff. Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, one that you were super excited about.
This is one that I want to love.
Right?
Okay, Undiscovered Country, Image Comics, number 3. The creative team is ridiculous. Snyder,
right?
Soule,
right?
Camicoli,
right?
Orlandini, Wilson, Crank. Everything Crank does is awesome.
Right.
I just don't. There's so many things happening in it that it almost needs like an editor to come in and say, okay, we're going to cut out this side story. This meta plot needs a little bit of tweaking. So 30 years ago, the U.S. completely shut itself off from the rest of the world. There was a plague that everybody was dropping like flies. In the U.S., of course, the only rational thing to do is to hunker down. And some people receive a message that there's a cure to this disease, and it's inside the U.S. You have to sneak in, and we'll give it to you.
Right.
And when people get there, and this is issue 3, so if you get issues 1 and 2, there's no spoilage happening here. It's like this weird nightmarescape where there's like some supernatural aspects to it.
Right.
There's just different things that are going on. Like there's supernatural stuff, sci-fi. There's so many things going on that I can't say, okay, this book is this, or it's a combination of this and that. And it's frustrating because the parts of it that are really good are amazing. And then there's other moments where you're like, how does that even remotely fit with the rules of the universe you've created?
I think it's interesting that, considering the two writers specifically that are on this book, both have really high marks. They're titles that we absolutely adored. But there are a couple that were not even like near misses, straight up whiffers.
Yeah.
And I think what happens when you get two guys that are prominent in name but not necessarily in execution all the time, if they're working together,
because it's uneven,
right,
at best, and it's so frustrating because I sit down and it's kind of like Event Horizon. I see it on TV and I'm like, I'm going to watch this because it's going to be good. And it has moments where it's good, but it's just such a hot. Guys,
I get it.
Why?
Yeah.
I love so much of your work. Why do you make this suck?
I tapped out after the first issue.
I keep
felt
going back.
You do, and I appreciate that about you. I swear your commitment to trying is cool. I have sworn off of Scott Snyder. I don't like his stuff. I don't. As a writer myself, I can fully recognize I don't dig his storytelling. Batman was cool, but I do have to question, was that more of a conceptual versus the execution? And I'm leaning more towards that's what it was. I thought the idea of the Court of Owls was awesome.
Yeah.
But then that's all I really cared about. After that, I didn't do Zero Year. I didn't do Bunny Rabbit thing.
Yeah.
None of that. Yeah. So it just wasn't my thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is. But Hit Girl, though, is
so
amazing.
So, yeah. Hit Girl, issue 12. It's the end of the India arc. This one kind of got me, especially at the end.
Yeah.
To address something so cultural and so right now was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And it was probably the most heartbreaking kill that I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, oh, why? You really? That was your choice? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All around I think this world tour is really giving us more character building with Hit Girl than we've ever had. She was a cool thing, right? Like a Deadpool type cool thing. Yeah. She's now a character. She's a fully fleshed out character that's not just about the killing, but there's some thought behind her that I think it speaks to what I really like about what Mark Miller does. He builds this thing, but he's almost in the way of saying I'm building this thing for other people to take and go in other places. Yeah. It's like what I imagine Stan Lee could have worked with if he was making books knowing that this is going to continue beyond me.
At some point.
So I'm just going to do this groundwork and I'm going to let other people just play. I'm going to do this thing that I like and then you add in what you like. And Hit Girl is a great example of that.
Oh, yeah. And this is more like the other stuff, definitely. Mm-hmm. But this run with Pete and Allison is just... Yeah, you just go pick it up.
Yeah, this one is one that if it gets nominated for an Eisner, I'm not surprised because it's that heartfelt, it's that interesting, it's that deep. Yeah. This particular run, it takes Hit Girl in a direction that is so much more serious than we've ever seen her, and it's awesome, very very awesome. Let's see, Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, number 29, Jason Aaron, Ed McGuinness. There's a bunch of inkers on this one.
Yeah. Not Crank. Crank is not on this.
Yeah, no, Crank's not on this one. We got Mark Morales, Ed McGuinness, and Paco Medina doing the inks here. This is fun.
It is. What's amazing is when you think of your Avengers,
right?
There's always certain characters this is part of a team, then there's the B team.
Right.
This is a team that you would have never, ever, unless you're Jason Aaron,
right,
thought to put together.
Let's talk about it. Thor. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cap.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain Marvel. Okay. All right.
Power level.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Ghost Rider. All right.
Yeah.
Blade. That's weirder.
It's a bold choice,
right?
But
and then a baby man thing.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. That's okay.
Yeah.
And in this book, they are heading up against the former Heralds of Galactus.
Yeah.
Which is it's one of those things where it's cool that it's in this book.
Yeah. But
literally that could have been an event. It so could have been a huge major event in comics because the notion of all the heralds working together again
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah, a threat that's so big that they're like, all right, guys, we got to pool resources.
We got to rally up.
And
Rally
we got to take
yeah.
care of this. And then, it's, oh my gosh,
Dope.
it's so much fun. And McGinnis's art
it just pops.
Yeah.
It pops on the page. And I think that's the thing I like about it is that it's a quick read. It's very brief, but they're fun images throughout the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So it works out really, really well. Like if you're gonna write quote unquote sparsely, make the imagery something that kind of keeps the balance, and that's hella cool.
Oh
hella
my gosh,
cool.
yeah. It's amazing that
I was like, whoa.
that's
whoa.
not necessarily a plot twist,
but
a plot amplification.
Man, I don't know. There might be a little twisty curl in there somewhere. I think there's a little bit of a bent, just for my sake.
So good. It
So,
almost was acrylic. Like it almost
It,
was.
oh my God, that was a conversation that I had to have in my heart and
Yeah.
mind. Like that was not even a joke. It was, 100%. That was a good one. So those are your first picks of our honorable mentions. If you like this video so far, click that button because we need that we need that like validation in our life because we do.
That thumbs up. Love it.
Yeah, we love the thumbs up. Okay, moving on to the acrylic.
Yes.
What do you want to do first? We got all three of the same here. What do you want to do?
Dang it, I don't know, because it's like the good, the bad, the ugly, and the great.
Let's get the bad and the ugly out.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh my god.
I knew that was what you were gonna do. Okay. Iron Man 2020 #1. Dan Slott. Is this Christos Cage?
Yeah. They teamed up on this.
Okay. We got Pete Woods on art. Yeah.
Dang it.
Okay.
Why?
So if you read Incoming #1 at $678 that it had as its cover price, you know that there's an upcoming story arc where the AI beings are revolting.
Which could be interesting.
Could be. I mean, the fact that we saw Herbie was like, screw this, flip a table. Yeah. That was amusing. It was. Getting into this, we see who I guess the main players are.
Sure.
We're in a world where Tony Stark did in fact die at the end of Civil War II. Yep. And the Tony Stark that we've been seeing is an AI consciousness in a rebuilt body.
Yeah.
Like, is it genetically cloned? Is that what?
Sure.
It's kind of the impression I got.
Yeah, which is so weird. It's like, is it a replicant? Like, what
right. Like, where does it go? Here's the thing. I don't want to spoil what is in this book. I want to spoil what's not in this book.
Okay, that's a way to go about it.
We see a number of AI-oriented characters involved, and it's the absence of the ones that would really matter that I think is the most strange.
Yeah.
We don't see Ultron.
Nope.
And I figure, like, when you're talking like rogue AI, Ultron is right. Like that's.
He's the go-to.
Right.
He is the all-father. But
like that's what that is. Like it should all be Ultron, right? Yeah. Like Ultron, Vision is running around like I'm smacking you fools because my daddy told me to. Like that's boom. But say you want to put like a little finesse to it, a little because Ultron's been used. He has. Yeah. He's had an age. Yeah. Fine, I get it. Doombots.
Right.
Where are the Doombots? I figure if there's any sort of like AI revolution, those are the things that are the most
they're going to become self-aware of it first in terms of like, wait a minute.
Right.
We're Doom. We're Dr. Doom.
We are Doom. Like, and then what happens? Like, because that's an amazing idea there because what happens when the Avengers get that phone call?
Yeah.
Where it's literally Victor Von Doom running for his life because his Doombots that are all like almost on power level of him have decided, nah, we're not doing this no more.
Yeah.
We're not doing this.
Yeah. Oh, crap. We've got to help.
Yes, because one of those things has given us problems where we got excited, where we're like, oh, we beat Doom. Oh, crap, it's another bot.
A Doom bot.
So if all of them, however many that might be, decide like, no, we are Doom.
Yeah.
That's a story.
Yeah, that's a story.
That's a dope story.
This is like almost an attempt at comedy.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me very much so for reasons. Next Wave.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, obviously there's a reason, but it does. I mean, there's only so many times a robot can call like a human being a flesh bag before you're like, Warren Ellis did it better.
Yeah. He did.
No disrespect, but that's kind of where we are. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I feel like this level of threat is one that would also include other people. Like Iron Man stepping in, cute. I think Reed Richards should be like, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
This is more.
It's next level.
Yeah. This isn't an Iron Man threat. This is.
Would the Sentinels be considered AI?
I would think so.
Master mold?
Right? Like crap.
Yeah.
Krakoa is done.
Right. Like that's
the Sentinels are just like, yeah, we don't like any of y'all.
Yeah.
So
kind of all buttholes.
Like I think like if they really wanted to set this up as a legitimate story, this threat level should be way higher. And you don't have to just go Ultron to do it. There are some very amazing characters that you can use. Yeah, I thought this one was kind of a sorry. Yeah. Not sorry. I'm gonna keep it real.
This is the tough one.
Yeah.
Because both of these are amazing, but for completely different reasons.
Way different reasons. Let's do the Batman's Grave.
Yeah.
Let's do it. The Batman's Grave number 4. Speaking of Warren Ellis, Brian Hitch. When was the last time you just saw Batman whoop some folks? You ever want to see that? Like, I mean, like literally Batman just putting a hurting on some peoples.
Did you grow up watching James Bond movies that were Sean Connery and Roger Moore, and you're like, man, that physical violence is not that. And then you saw your first Daniel Craig James Bond movie, and you're like, yeah.
He kills people.
That's the whooping.
Yeah. That's what this is. That's 100% what this is. There's levels of violence here where I'm like, Batman, thou art a villain. you, sir, are not, you're not okay, okay? This is...
Because without ruining anything, there's a fight scene, and then there's Alfred.
Oh, listen. Batman beats people up, and he loses a battle of words to the butler, okay? Because Alfred has this innate ability to cut you where it hurts the most. Mm-hmm. And it's insane. It's very, very interesting to me.
And he looks like Peter Niven.
He does!
Like, that's the best part.
He does. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Now, okay. All right, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be this guy, and I'm gonna say this. And I pray that he doesn't beat me for it. But so I've somewhat fallen out of love with Brian Hitch's work.
Okay.
Here's why. I believe that he is so technically good at drawing.
Yeah.
And that he puts all of his efforts in storytelling, that now his character positions have become almost static.
Okay.
They are poses that he does consistently.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of
sorry,
as I'm saying this, it's kind of diminished the impact of his art skill.
Yeah.
I think in a weird sort of way, I've not seen Brian Hitch's art change over the last 20 years. And ordinarily you would think that that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I think I'm too used to this. I want to see him challenge himself like he used to, or at least what I had never seen before.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm in a position now, and I also feel this way about Alex Ross, that for so long I've experienced his work that I don't want to say I'm numb to it, but it doesn't have the same impact that it used to. And I think it's more me and just I'm used to it. I'm so used to it. I need to be wild again.
There's 3 people that Batman's fighting, and there's 4 jaws broken, and none of them are Bruce's. I don't know how it's possible.
It's magic, but it does happen.
Like, seriously.
It totally happens.
You don't even need to pick up. You should pick up the first 3 issues.
But all you need is this.
All you need is this.
Yeah.
It's like the it's the Batman ass whoopings. That,
this is the ones that your parents told you about.
Like when you watch Darth Vader in episodes 4, 5, and 6, like he should be badass. And then Rogue One, you're like, that's
the way Darth Vader's supposed to kill people, right there. That is, yeah. It's kind of like, okay, let's be honest. all the Batmans leading up to the Batman Begins movie, there was fighting.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
Because it was Batman.
Yeah.
But the moment that we see Batman fight on the docks for the first time, where he drops down into a crowd of gangsters, and it's just a bunch of quick cuts of people dying, but they don't die, that's Batman. Like, boom. That's what that is. It's very true. Okay. This one is a very interesting piece for us. We're discovering origin stories, but I don't think that we should express said origin story.
Correct. I feel that's appropriate.
Right. Okay, so you've got 0. I've got issue 1.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Here's how I realized that. I have this book. I got it from New York Comic Con last year. So I was like, I get it now. This is what this is. So what books are in that?
It's got Resistance by Straczynski and Deodato Jr.
Right.
Archangel 8 by Mordecai and Smith, and then also Red Border by Starr and Conrad.
Is it issue 1 of those books? Because, yes. Okay, it is. Okay, so that they did as a preview, it looks like. What does it have any previews in it? Like in the back?
Because it says it's got something by Frank Cho.
I know those are coming. Because we got ads for those, but those aren't actually in this book.
Yeah, this one looks very Choian.
It does. That does look like... Yeah. I don't think that's... I don't think that one's in here. So there are different things in these two, which is fantastic. Yeah. Here's the thing. So Upshot, this one is AWA. Yeah. That one doesn't say that. And I'm curious as to... It has some of the same titles. Yeah. But I wonder if this is like... this was an alliance that came after that came out?
Yeah, maybe, because this one says fall 2019.
Right.
And
then this one is, I think, January 2020. Yeah, January for March 2020 shipping product. So...
Oh, are these preview books?
I think they are. I think these are preview books to let you know what's coming. And let me just say, okay, so as a preview book, this is listed with a $5 price tag. It's bang for buck. You get, literally in this book, you get 4 issues, 4 full issues, and then sample pages of issues 2. Yeah. Let me tell you why that's brilliant. As an independent creator, I can tell you that one of the biggest faults that we have is the indefinite nature of our follow-up issues. This, and my solution to it for my own work was to start putting in the cover of the next issue to let you know that we are thinking about what the next issue is and we're beginning some production on it. By having actual pages, though, you know that this is coming. Like, they've put in the work and they're giving you extra bits. I think that is one of the most brilliant things I've seen in a long time when it comes to marketing new material.
And as a retailer, that means we know.
Right.
It isn't going to be like 3 months later, I'm going to have to order issue 2, but with no data on 1.
Right.
I know.
Right. And once you sell this one, the following week, you can ask people that bought it, yo, what did you think? Are you good for issue 2? Did you see the issue 2 preview? What do you think? You are given that much more information to arm yourself in case final order cutoffs hit at a certain point. Like, you are protected way better than the current structure. Yeah. That is dope. Yeah. Like,
it's amazing.
Yes.
And it's top tier talent.
Right. Like, oh my God.
It isn't like some new up and coming guy from Westerville.
Right.
This is like...
I feel attacked. No, I live in the South Side. Yeah. But no, but
like Ennis.
Right.
Straczynski.
Right.
Like, these are...
But there are some people that I hadn't heard of either, which I think is also smart. So you're leading with top tier names for sure. But like Jason Starr, I've never heard of Jason Starr before. John Lees, I don't know if I've ever seen any work from them before either. But to have that mix...
Yeah, because one set of names gets you to buy the book.
Right.
The other set of names you read and you're like, oh, I'm going to keep going.
Happy wins. Happy wins. And especially because they have the same format of here's a full issue and some extra.
Which is a great way. It's a great way to promote both the people that are already known and the people that you're like, I know these people are talented.
Yep.
Let's get them out there.
Yep. So if you're an independent creator, I think this is something that needs to be a part of the conversation. We always have this convo of, we need to start the next image. We need to start the next milestone. It's how you do it that will ultimately matter. And I'm going to come out here on the record and say this. I was going to save this until I got to my Twitter fingers and keyboard stuff. But I think this is going to be the next wave, and something I'm gonna try to do before the end of the year is work with some other publishers, and we're gonna produce like trade paperback anthologies, as long as we have enough content, amongst ourselves, and see if we can't pitch that. I think that right there is a game changer.
Or the combined social media presence.
Right.
Like if you look at the social media of each of those creators, and you're like, okay, guys, we're putting it out, tweet it.
Right.
Instagram it once.
Boom. Boom. That's exponential outreach. Then you get carryover. You got people that like this thing, that like that thing. More people that know, the better it is. And from an independent level, we don't have to sell as much to be overtly lucrative.
Right.
Like I imagine that. Like if we had independent creators band together and we make a trade paperback, right, that has something like this. If we sell this trade paperback for $10, it's a lot, we get it. But if we sell 8,000 units of it and it features books from 4 different creators, that's $20,000 profit. I mean, minus supplies and stuff, but each of the creators get to split with only 8,000 sales. Like, that's huge. You're talking way better relationships between writers and artists, what we can produce, huge. So let's look at that and really kind of consider what the future of our independent releases should be, because I think that's going to be a telltale. That's going to be,
Very true.
right. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to get more of this every week, click the subscribe button and the notification bell, because every week we're giving you this magic, this goodness.
And that bell will let you know when it happens. It's always Wednesdays.
That's
Unless
right.
something really weird happens, then it's still
It's
Wednesdays
like
usually.
still Wednesday-ish, Thursday-ish.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get out of here,
Yes.
I want to do a quick shout out to my dad and my brother, who are both celebrating birthdays this week. My dad is a big 6-0, man.
Right.
Yeah, 6-0. It's crazy. It's crazy.
He doesn't look 40.
I mean, black don't crack, man. I'm just telling you all that right now. I'm gonna look good one day.
Yeah, and I'm 23.
Yeah. I'm. I was gonna try to find a way to find a compliment, and it was just gone. I was just like, but you're a wizened 23.
Yeah, you're probably gonna die next week.
Dang it. Let's not have that happen. I don't want to do a show alone. Please no. Good night, everybody.